obviously a lot of success on a football team, and the Packers have only had 2 quarterbacks starting for them at training camp since
92 maybe.
I've been watching NFL Network, and they say it every single time Jordan Love comes on the screen. And he was on that bike with the kid, and it was awesome. And he was on a little tiny one, and I saw the pedal actually get him right in the calf.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh boy, we need that not to happen. One of those to the shin. I just thought back to a kid actually spinning that thing, and I couldn't even imagine. It's good what they do over there, but let's keep him safe.
Yeah,
let's keep him
please.
Safe. And everybody would assume that because of how it all ended, and and I asked a pretty loud question about like Guti, like everybody's just crowning him. Like, all right, well, we're gonna find out. You want to crown him? Crown him. And I did say some things that were out of pocket, and Packers fans let me know, and I've human enough to admit that was the case. But as we're watching what's take place with Jordan Love, from his interviews, from the teammates, what they're saying about him, now from the clips from practice, we got these deep balls from Jordan Love just kind of popping up every single day. You're talking about poise, control, swag, moxie, and fucking guys. That's man. Christian Watson. That's first play of the season last year, if you do recall.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers to Christian Watson. Seemingly same exact play, seemingly same exact ball, in a much different outcome. Is this cause
give me that
for you to think that the Packers is still the kings of the North in all of the downfall that was being wished upon the Packers with the ending of the Aaron Rodgers era after the Brett Favre era football?
Right.
Feels like this team is going to be A-OK.
Yes.
Is that ridiculous to think? And is that how everybody in Green Bay is thinking, Ty?
I think so. It's definitely not ridiculous to think. I came back around on like, hey, they're going to win the division before any of these clips really came out. But I think most people are thinking that. Like, the defense is supposed to be good. It was supposed to be, the best part of the team last year, and they underperformed for the first 13 weeks of the season. And they were also a big part of why they kind of made that playoff push late. But I think the thing with Jordan Love is, he always had arm talent and he was athletic. It was the accuracy that it was we saw all those videos in his first couple years where he's missing nets and he just didn't have it all put together yet. But you look at this stuff, it does seem like he's getting more accurate. He's more comfortable. And then the big thing is the leadership portion and them kind of telling him going into this year after it was done that Rodgers was going to the Jets. It's hey, this is your team now. No more kind of waiting in the wings, sitting behind everything and just kind of learning the process and what it takes to be a successful quarterback in the league. You have to go do that now. And I think he's kind of accepted that challenge with open arms. And then you also see guys like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. It was huge that they were kind of forced to be the 1 and 2 guys last year. So they already have that kind of year of seasoning. And they've been working all offseason. Again, we see these clips come out from training camp, and it's kind of it's whatever. There's a lot of
we just talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't be overreacting.
No.
But
don't jump the
to everything you're saying, I watched him do an interview with Stacey Dales, I think out at Green Bay Packers practice. And Stacey Dales said, everybody's asking me, as if I'm a coach or offense coordinator, what this offense is going to look like with Jordan Love as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. And she said, so what is it going to look like now that you're the man or whatever? And he said, yeah, I am the man. He just casually said that. And I was fucking love that.
Yes.
I love everything he just said. Then he said, the plays aren't changing. He was the plays are going to be, it doesn't sound like there's any real massive shift in strategy or overall thoughts. It's plays are the same. How I view things might be different than Aaron. He said he was very good with Aaron. It was, every time I've heard him speak, I'm seems like a fucking guy.
Yeah.
What a time for the Green Bay Packers fans.
Well, and then on top of it, we haven't seen anything. Aaron Jones is one of the best running backs in the NFL. So, we haven't seen anything from their running game. They're not going to go out there and have Jordan Love throw it 35 times a game. At least not early, because it is, there are going to be growing pains. Everyone said that. It's going to take him a little bit of time to get into it. But I really do, not just being a homer, not being a Packers fan, when they were saying, oh, this is the worst team in the division, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. It's well, typically, the Packers are a good franchise. I don't think they're going to just outright suck. They haven't in a long time, but I really do feel confident. They're going to be in it. There's a very good chance they win the division and make the playoffs.
Not a rookie quarterback, but rookie quarterback. What does that mean, Packy?
I think not a rookie quarterback. He's been behind one of the GOATs for the longest, so he's had time to mature and read defense and learn how to break down film, call the protection. He was behind Aaron Rodgers. It don't get no better than that. So I think he have a chance to be good.
He said that actually watching Aaron and his style of leadership, in that Stacey Dales conversation, it was only 2.5 minutes, I think. But they threw it on like 2-3 times. I just had it sitting on the TV while me, Mackenzie, and the wife are hanging out in the room, you know what I mean? Yeah. So every time it came on, I like watched it, and I'm like, is he nervous? It's like, no, it doesn't seem like he's nervous at all. Does he seem like he's like overcompensating for anything? Does he feel like, no? Does he feel like he's like playing a character? No. Does it feel like he understands how fucked up his NFL life has been? No. Right. I don't think he even cares. You know, it's like, no excuses pretty much. Just like straight fair. I learned this. When you're in college, you think you have things, and then you come here and you see like the way Aaron does things. It's like, oh, I should probably add that to the way I go about doing things. It's like seemingly handling it all perfectly. Yeah. Will it equate wins on the football field? I think it helps.
Absolutely. And like the team last year felt like was kind of like plagued with injuries. Like not only on the O line, but also on D line. Was it Rashawn Gary? He was hurt. He was their best pass rusher early. And you give Stokesy another year. Obviously, their secondary is pretty damn good with Jair. And then when we're talking about Watson and Dobbs, it doesn't hurt that they're going up against these guys who are pretty damn good corners. Yeah. So it does feel like he's set up for the best success, at least from the young quarterbacks that are in their early years now.
Yeah, I hope that he has success.
Me too.
He's set up for it for sure. Like Connor said, the O-line is really good. The running game should be really good. The defensive line is good. The secondary's got Jair is good. Now the weapons are young, but they seem like they're very good and very talented. Like all the wide receivers are second year. The tight ends are all first years. So, I mean, you could kind of lean on that a little bit, but they're all talented. So like it's pretty much he's set up. Like you're gonna know real quickly if Jordan Love's gonna be good or not. I think.
I love Love.
Just
celebrate an anniversary or something.
Right.
Exactly.
But I do really love this Jordan Love guy, and I don't want him to be a guy that because if he doesn't do good this year, you know what I mean. Like if he doesn't do, geez Louise. He's joining us here in a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I touched that. Yeah. Oh, Bruce did. Shout out, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bruce wants to talk about
Hey, thank you, Bruce. Thank you out there. That was Lambeau. That's Green Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
But if let's say he doesn't have success this year,
it's probably not going to be the Packers quarterback.
Yeah,
that's kind of how they set it up.
They stuck with him now.
Well, they just gave him that 2-year deal.
Yeah,
but
he's going to be there for another year.
He would have
unless it is catastrophically bad.
Like Trey Lance situation.
Right.
Sure.
Exactly.
Like
or Zach Wilson.
We'll have Shefty with us here in 11 minutes or whatever. He's plugged over there in San Fran. I cannot wait to ask about what they're going to do with Trey Lance.
It's crazy.
I can't. Now, there's still massive support behind Trey Lance from a lot of Niners people, as there should be, right? Traded a lot to go get there.
Yeah.
Became the story of the offseason to go get that. Conflict allegedly over who that pick was became a story.
Yep.
That pick was massive. The move, huge. The day of being switched from one quarterback to Trey Lance was one of the biggest needle movers in the history of sports complex.
Oh, yeah.
And we were right in the middle of all of it. Like, it was absolutely absurd. But he gets in there, couple games. Chicago, you can't judge.
No.
It was a monsoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you cannot judge. That's not a football game.
Right.
That was not a football game. Who knows? But then you see him throw a couple balls. They're not perfect. It's like, well, he's a rookie guy. He's a rookie quarterback. This could happen. And then all of a sudden, Brock Purdy comes in there.
Yeah.
So good.
They're so good, so quick. And it's like they're going to be put in a situation where it's like, okay, we have a team to win now, but we drafted a quarterback to kind of like for the future.
Yeah, the team.
So it's kind of like one of these situations. And they, to their credit, which not a lot of teams have done, we don't care if he was Mr. Irrelevant or number 3.
Wow.
We're playing whoever's the best guy. That is not normal. Okay? That is not normal. Normally, that third overall pick, if Mr. Irrelevant was such a problem, good trade value, actually.
Yeah.
Get him out. Let's not even have the conversation. I'm not saying that has happened every single time in the history of football, but that happens a lot in the NFL because there's a lot of egos with draft picks. There's a lot of pride, and there's a lot of legacies depending upon who your top picks were whenever you're talking about a GM or scouting department or front office and everything like that. So there's a lot of reasons that go behind everything. So them just being like, nope, Brock Purdy's the guy. He's Mr. Irrelevant. Don't care. He's better than this guy. I'm going to play him. Huge.